Hello and welcome to the Cryptocurrency News Channel. Okay, VEX is going to launch in a couple of hours, 1300 UTC, which is, I believe, 8 hours ahead of Central Standard Time, and that is essentially 500 UTC, well, 500 Central Standard Time, which is 5 o'clock in the morning, roughly 7 hours. So we're releasing this on time, and we're going to get this VEX information out. So basically, it's yield farming, and it aims to incentivize VEX liquidity. There's a Medium article on this. I will link the Medium article as the first pinned post in the video. So what is yield farming? We all know what yield farming is. Yield farming protocols incentivize liquidity providers to stake or lock up their crypto assets in smart contract-based liquidity pool. These incentives can be a percentage of transaction fees, interest from lenders, and a governance token. So you can actually either lock up VEX or VET. So the Vexchange V2 VEX VET pair will initially be the only pair with yield farming rewards. This is meant to act as an example in simple yield farming program. The goal for governance is to determine future programs once that module is complete and goes live. The parameters for Vex VET farming are launching 9th of November, 1300 UTC, 5 a.m. Central Standard Time. I guess would be 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So the admissions are 13,700 VEX a day. That's all the rewards combined. Admissions can be adjusted, renewed once per month by governance, and that's a vote. The 5% allocation covers 12 months of admissions if governance does not make any changes. And that they may or may not. So after that, they might actually have to put more in the, in the treasury. How do you yield farm? A lot of people ask this. The essential high-level steps to yield farming are as follows. Deposit VEX into the VEX VET liquidity pool on Vexchange. Once deposited, you will receive your Vex VET liquidity provider tokens. Deposit Vex VET into Vexchange VEX VET's Vexchange yield farming interface. Earn yield in the form of additional VEX. So you have to get some VEX and you have to deposit it into your VEX VET liquidity pool on the exchange. And then you will start to get like more VEX tokens. You can claim and unstake at any time. Of course, they do a good job. They warn people that there is risks to yield farming. And as with all DeFi applications, you will have to allow Vexchange and our farming interface to act on your behalf by an approval transaction. Now, once again, Vexchange is not directly affiliated with Vechain. It is a third-party project. This action will be shown and apparent in the UI on both Vexchange and our farming website. So yield farming leverages existing code bases, but they do tell you that there are two risks. One is impermanent loss, and that's like if you deposit and then the value of your coins go down. And obviously, smart contract bugs. So be aware of that before you do VET, VEX yield farming or any yield farming for that matter. So there will be additional yield farms, and governance will be able to vote to add additional yield farming pairs. These pairs should be chosen to maximize platform volume and revenue. There is also an opportunity for other projects in the ecosystem to partner with the Vex DAO and multi-reward yield farming on key pairs for the projects. If governance wishes to introduce one-off additional airdrops for users that missed out on the initial Vex airdrop, and I've already explained this, there's an initial Vex airdrop, and that was basically for people that provided liquidity on Vexchange version 1 or that traded on Vexchange version 1. So if you didn't do that, just holding VET tokens is not enough to get the Vex airdrop. And then if they decide there's going to be more one-off airdrops, they will actually decide on that too. Now, they are going to have initial liquidities, but the original plan was to leave the job of creating the Vex VET pair up to initial Vex holders, but that's probably not a great idea because you need some initial liquidity. But after feedback from the community members around initial liquidity concerns, we have decided to lock 1% of all VEX along with V2 fees accumulated to date in the Vex VET pair. The LP tokens will be then transferred to the governance time block and will be under the control of VEX holders who can eventually determine the fate of this LP. So like the governance is going to determine a lot. So a couple of questions that people might have had. Was there a pre-sale? No, there was no pre-sale. Can I join the pre-sale? Obviously, if there's not a pre-sale, you can't join the pre-sale. So the thing is, not having a pre-sale, that's pretty cool because that means like at least for that pre-sale, there's not like a bunch of people with a ton of tokens they can sell. Now, obviously there is some for the team and all that stuff, but there was no pre-sale tokens. Is Vexchange created by Vechain? So they work very closely and is in constant communication with the Vechain Foundation. However, Vexchange is not affiliated with Vechain. I mentioned this before. They are a third party. Can I use MetaMask or Trust Wallet? No, Vechain is not Ethereum, so you cannot. MetaMask and Trust Wallet is an Ethereum-based wallet. Vechain uses its own wallet, such as Comet or Sync. In order to use Vexchange, you will need one or the other, either Comet or Sync. It is important to note that Sync has two versions. We recommend Sync 2. How will we know if I've been airdropped VEX? If you know, you know. So essentially, if you see it, you have it. Just kidding. I mean, that is kind of how it works. Just kidding. You will be able to see your Vex balance on the 9th of November. Basically, if you know, you know. They say it's just kidding, but that's really what they mean. So Vex will be tradable on Vexchange.io on the 9th of November. At the release of this article, Vexchange has not been focusing on other exchange listings. However, we know Vex on other exchanges is an important necessity of growth, so they'll probably list it sooner or later. And you can follow their Twitter account. So that is the lowdown on the Vex exchange and how you actually yield farm. So let me know if you have any questions. Hopefully this pumps up the price of Vex and VET. Like and subscribe, hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.